Hello students, and welcome back to another course on the Iron Kingdoms with, of course, me, Professor Castor. We've gotten to the sections of Warbeast and Warjax, of Circle, Orboros, and Kodor, respectively. Also, stay tuned at the end of this episode. We're going to be discussing the new Mark IV versions of each of these guys, if they are available to us at this time, as well as seeing what the difference is between their Mark III counterparts. Also, please leave a like at the beginning of this video. It does help with the faculty and administration, aka the YouTube algorithm, as we are all aware. And let's begin. First off, we'll be talking about the Feral Warpwolf, Circle Heavy Warbeast. The embodiment of the Devourer Worm, Warpwolves were first created by a cult of Devourer worshippers seeking a closer connection to the beast of all shapes. They unlocked a potent mystical formula that combined the bestial essence of man with the madness associated with the shifting moons. A mortal man who ingested this elixir transformed into a hulking bipedal lupine monster when distressed or injured. A warpwolf filled with the urge to slaughter and feast. Among the cult were those who had found the Circle Orboros, and they brought with them the secret of the formula, which the Blackclads have since used to create these beasts for war. They have become some of the most favored and primal of the Circle's living weapons. The initial transformation from human to warpwolf is instantaneous, and most warpwolves remain in this form for extended periods, especially while battle rages. As calm settles after the carnage, most warpwolves gradually return to human form. The transformation cycle repeats in times of stress as well as during certain lunar phases. Warpwolf children possess the transformative ability of their parents, some of them never returning to human form. Few warpwolves retain their sanity for long, suffering from nervousness, tension, and violent episodes even when the human form and indulging any excuse to express their predatory nature. Warpwolf bodies constantly shift and warp in battle, muscles and tendons bulging to provide bursts of speed or power, bone-like spurs erupting to protect vulnerable flesh. Wounds quickly close as skin ripples and transforms over the injuries, and the blood-curdling howls of warpwolves on the hunt is one of the most terrifying sounds in the dark wilds of Western Amoran. Well, it's good to know that they don't just switch into wolves when the moon is out. They could just be injured. Can you imagine walking down the streets of Seoul and running into some kind of madman that tries to attack you and you injure him and then he just switches out into a warpwolf? Yeah, that sounds awful. My experiences with warpwolves, I have gone up with them numerous times and tell you every time is awful. The hounds are awful. They're super fast, super hard to take down. Their healing ability is insane. They can shrug off bullet wounds. Like, if you're gonna kill them, it has to be a very combined effort. Also, as mentioned earlier, these are not lupine. I've been bitten by a number of warpwolves and have not had any kind of wolf-changing experiences on myself. At least not that I'm aware of. And if I had, I would be a lot more mad than I am now. Alrighty, let's discuss the differences between the Mark III and Mark IV Warpwolf. And weirdly enough, there's really not that much of a difference between the Mark III and the Mark IV Warpwolf. Stats are the same across the line, outside of removing the strength stat, because it was kind of unnecessary for the streamline. But they still have their protective plates. They still have their warp speed and warp strengths, all the same. And they still have their regeneration of D3. Also, in their animus, it appears to be the exact same thing. However, they add an additional ruling that their frenzy cannot actually be removed by any kind of spells or special rules or casting any other animus on top of it. So whoever gets the primal is going to go primal regardless of spells. So nice little update to keep people from doing any kind of shenanigans. And of course, on the Mark IV rules, the run is now only a +5 speed and not a double speed, so it reduces this guy by a whole 1 inch while running. Alrighty students, that does it for this particular creature. And if you could, please like, subscribe, comment, let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if you guys like using this particular Warbeast in battle, or if you hate going up against this particular Warbeast in battle, because I know I do. And your homework is please tell your friends and fellow gamers about this particular YouTube series, because we would love to increase the class size and, of course, keep all this train rolling. And as always, class dismissed.